couple of questions on the board for you. What is a memoir, and how is this genre different than others? Can anyone answer that first question? Two hands popped up. Michael, let's give it a go.
A memoir is a simple memory that you write down in paragraph form.
Did you hear what he had to share?
Yes.
A single memory that you write down in paragraph form. I like the way that you've used memoir and memory. Those two words together. Very good. Catherine, did you want to add to that?
No.
No? Memory. It's a single memory. We're going to build on that. How is this genre? Because memoir is a genre, like science fiction, history, adventure, mystery. Memoir is a genre. So how is that different than others? Jennifer?
I think it's different because memoir is a memory, and then the other type, journals, you're learning about them. And memoir, you already know about it.
Who knows about it?
Us.
The person that's writing it knows about it. I guess it's different, and I'm thinking, if I was giving you a clue, it's written differently. It looks different than a regular Twilight book, for example. The writing looks different.
And the movie.
Are we stuck on that? Because we don't know too much about it yet? Okay. Well, you're in luck, because I brought some examples of some memoirs to show you. And we're actually going to be reading a memoir today. So our objective, students will learn about memoirs in order to write an excerpt or passage. Ultimately, you're going to be writing a memoir. You're going to have to learn what it is first in order to write a good one. That's my job, to help you know some more about it. And then we always practice this. This is always an objective for us when we're reading. Students will practice being active readers. It's not like active like we're going to be out on the ice skating rink active. We're not going to actually be moving that much when you're going to be writing, and you're going to be moving your hand, and you might be scratching your head a little bit. But it's not as like Alex Soto around the ice skating rink, active reader. But it's more here that's going to be active when we read. And we should always strive to do that. Okay, so I have a little background knowledge about the word memoir. What originality could you guess or predict memoir, where does it come from? What language? Does it sound Spanish? Italian?
Yes.
What does it sound like? Luis?
Sounds like French.
Luis? Very good educated guess. Nice. So, on your sheet that you started with your questions, you might want to get this information down because this is going to help you. Memoir. The Webster Dictionary definition is a record of facts and events written from personal knowledge. Just like our good friend Louise told us, memoir comes from the French language. Memoir is spelled like this in French, and it means memory. It also comes from the Latin word memoria, which means memory as well. So that's the origin of the word. Memoir. Wow. Has that French sound to it. It's kind of fun to say. Bless you, Carlos. I brought a few examples of memoirs today. Now that you know a little bit more about memoirs than we did before, I have seen several of you reading memoirs in here. I've seen Carlos read a memoir. I've seen Owen reading a memoir. I know, I've seen it and you didn't even know it. Let's see, who else have I seen? I think I've seen, has anyone read these books? Yeah, you've been reading a memoir. And what do we have, 3 of them out now? You've been reading a memoir. Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. Monday. This video game ban is a whole lot tougher than I thought it would be. But at least I'm not the only one in the family who's in trouble. Roderick, my brother, is in some hot water with Mom right now, too. Manny got a hold of one of Roderick's heavy metal magazines, and one of the pages had a woman with a picture of her in a bikini laying across the hood of a car. And when Manny brought it into a daycare to show for show and tell, Manny's 5. So what's different about this writing and looking than some of the novels that we've been reading? What's different about it, Rita?
It's like somebody's life.
It is somebody's life. It's, what's his name?
Greg.
Greg Heffley. It's his life. Okay, so what else is different? If you're looking at the page and when I say Wednesday or I say Monday,
It's listed by days. It's like a diary.
it's like a diary, a journal entry. I heard journal. Memoir, journal. Diary, memoir. Say, what person is it written in? First person means the person. So Gregory's writing this. This is his, about him. At your book fair right now. It's on sale. $5.99. How many do we have? We have 4 out so far? Okay. We read an excerpt from Sunrise Over Fallujah by Walter D. Myers. Carlos brought that book in. We read an excerpt from that. It was the same thing. May 3rd, 2003. Dear Uncle Richie, things are going pretty well here. I'm getting along really well with the squad. We understand things about each other. Probably the most important thing is that nobody is perfect. That's okay. We're tight with each other. It's written as a diary, an account of what happens that day. And remember, this guy is the soldier and he went to war. Remember we looked at that previously? Have any of you ever read the Dear America series? Cameron, have you?
I have one.
My Name is America, Dear America, and it's written in different parts of the historical of the United States. Have you seen them before? The same thing. This one is the Journal of Scott Pendleton Collins, a World War II soldier, and it has Normandy, France, 1944. The journal entry is June 7th, 1944. I could see Omaha Beach through the smoke and haze as our boat rocked in the choppy waters. So this is his account of what happened during that time. his personal account. Yeah, Jennifer?
I'm connecting this with the video game I was playing. It's all the dates and the expert. What happened in the dates?
Was it written by the person that wrote the video?
Yeah.
So it was a personal account of their experience? Okay, she made a connection of video. How many of you have ever kept a diary before? Do you think that's just a girl's thing? I don't. When you go on a vacation, someplace new, it's kind of fun to keep your account of what happened so you can look back on it. Miss Benecki went to Italy. She's on her way today. She's going on a vacation. She told me yesterday she was going to keep a diary of what they did and her experiences in Italy so she could look back on it and remember. This book I found in the book fair. It's called Skeleton's Creek, Ryan's Journal. Mr. Miller is reading this book. He said it was awesome. It has a personal account, and then it has a website that goes along with the personal account, and there's pictures that you can go to this website and read about the chapter. He said it was a mystery memoir. Say that 3 times. Oh gosh. Mystery memoir. Okay. Pretend we do sound tired. I know it's the day before spring break, but we can do this. Monday, September 13th at 11 p.m. Sarah went into the dredge without me that night. What was my excuse? Homework. She knew it was a lie, and I knew it was a lie, and instead of being mad, Sarah went ahead without me, like she always did. That's in our book fair too as well. Okay. Thumbs up if you're getting a little bit better feel for what we're going to be doing here. Memoirs, a personal experience. Okay, well we're going to be reading a memoir today, an excerpt. Let's look at our objective again, because I think this is important to revisit. We're going to be learning more about memoirs, and we've gotten the definition and we've seen some examples, and now we're going to read an example of one. Students will be practicing to be active readers. Let's revisit that for a minute and let's talk about what that's going to look like. Before we read, during, read, and after. Anyone have any thoughts on what an active reader looks like before we read? Before you read something, what do you do if you're active, an active reader? Kevin?
Make a prediction.
Did you hear what he said? Make a prediction. What is this that I'm going to read? We're going to be making those today. Good job. Michael?
Learn the title.
Okay? Before you read, you look at the title. And then you're going to be also making some predictions.
Do you like the author?
You looking at the author. Have I seen something? Have I read something about Walter D. Myers before? Did you see a question on the CSAP test about Walter D. Myers?
Yeah.
I saw that and I went, wow. We've read something from him before. Catherine,
If it's a picture book, you could do a book walk.
could you say that again? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
If you do if you're reading a picture book, you could do a book walk.
A book?
Book walk. Like you look through the pages
Oh, to look through the pages for pictures
or like captions.
or captions? Okay, so you're browsing, you're observing, you're predicting, you're looking. Pictures are helpful if there's any illustrations or captions, so you're doing a book walk or an excerpt walk. Thank you.
You could look at the back of the book to see what it's about.
Okay, you could look at the back to get a quick summary. Okay? Back, summary. All right, good. During reading, what do we do if we're good active readers? We're reading. What do we do? Daniel's been doing this. He's going. I know you know, Daniel, because I can see your face. Thank you for taking a risk.
Silence.
Okay, so during your read, you have to have some concentration. So it might be quiet for some time because you're concentrating. Okay, so we're concentrating. What else are we doing, Emily?
You can maybe make text to self or text to world or text to text.
What do we call those? Connections. Good. We are connecting. I think of it like wires. And I think of wires, and sometimes they spark, and sometimes they get shocking because they've connected and they're going off. I think of that as your brain, and you're connecting text to self, text to text, text to world. Jennifer did that with a video game that she was working on. You've made connections because you've read some of these books before. We're always connecting. Good. What else are we doing? I'm thinking, I don't know this word. I'm reading it, but I don't know the definition. What am I doing? Daniel,
You can use context clues.
you could use context clues. Good, Daniel. What else do we do? This might take a little bit of activeness because you're going to get up out of your seat and you're going to walk on over to the dictionary and you're going to get one. A good reader probably has a dictionary with them as well. Jennifer. Okay, and that could go here or here. Any background knowledge.
You can also predict during reading.
You also can predict during reading as well. There's one more thing I want you to know about during reading, and this can be before reading, and this can also be after reading. Take a look at the bulletin board right by the teacher's desk. If we don't ask questions, we don't learn. And it's good to write those questions down. It's good to ask them before